Malika Anderson, Chief Program Officer at Instruction Partners. Today, I am so excited to share with you our new Continuous Improvement Toolkit. It was created to support leaders like you who are looking for solutions to real complex problems and is full of concrete tools and resources. So let's take a look. When you download the toolkit, you'll find a few pages explaining the purpose and contents of it. I want to take a moment to look at this section titled How to Use the Toolkit. We recommend using this toolkit with your leadership team, but there are so many ways you can use it and customize it for your team's needs. First, you can use the framework for long-term planning. This outlines the full scope of work for the entire school year, organized into phases of work and broken down into specific components: instruction, culture, and operations. You'll see that the steps within each component are in chronological order. The components themselves, instruction, culture, and operations, are interdependent. For example, cultural planning should inform your instructional planning. As you look at the steps outlined in phase 1, if you find any crucial steps that you feel your team is missing, you can always refer to our Reentry Toolkit Essentials. This resource outlines what we've identified as the essential actions, resources, and outcomes that will set your team up for continuous improvement efforts this year. This toolkit can also be used as a workbook for your team. We've built out 8 key action steps for supporting instruction and culture. For each step, there are corresponding guiding questions to help your team understand what's working and what's not for your current instruction and school culture. Let's look at step 1 as an example. Confirm priorities and aspirations for student learning and culture. In order to effectively identify areas for improvement, you and your team first have to have a clear vision for where you want to be so you can identify areas for improvement to move in that direction. As you work through guiding questions for this step, you'll reflect on the priorities and aspirations of reentry and make any adjustments that may be necessary. You're going to want to update your list of priority students who you are organizing your plans around so no students fall through the cracks. You're going to determine a plan for progress monitoring towards the priorities and aspirations. Now, this toolkit also links out to over 40 practical tools, templates, and recommendations for keeping students engaged in meaningful learning, whether they are learning in a classroom or at home. Let's scroll down to step 4, identify focus areas for improvement. As you work through the toolkit with your team, specifically steps 1 through 3, you'll gain a clear picture of your focus areas for improvement. And then what do you do with that? Well, step 4 of the toolkit points to our resources, organized into 7 common focus areas for improvement. Let's click down to resources. You'll see the common areas of focus that we have resources for are vision setting, student attendance, relationships and connections, professional learning and coaching, pacing, lesson preparation and internalization, and distance learning practices. So let's assume that you and your team, through data compilation and analysis, have identified a focus area of improvement to be around the student experience in distance learning. You and your team have determined that lesson preparation is the place to start to address this area for improvement. So you can click on Lesson Preparation and Internalization to find those relevant resources to support your team's improvement efforts. Let's take a closer look at some of those resources you can find under Lesson Preparation and Internalization to find those relevant resources to support your team. Here's our guidance for designing the student experience for a distance learning lesson. This process outlines how teachers can meaningfully plan for how they want students to experience an upcoming lesson, whether in school or at home. This process assumes that the teacher has already internalized the focus standard and done the work of the lesson. And by the way, there are resources on how to do that as well. The preparation steps include identifying the purpose of each activity in the lesson. You'll then plan for interactions. Determine the types of interactions that need to happen during the activity to maintain the focus on the intended lesson outcome while ensuring that every student can get there. For example, there's guidance on how to shape the student interactions and student to teacher interactions. There's help on identifying the digital platform like Nearpod or Google Classroom and the features you'll use like chatbox and breakout rooms that are most useful to the particular activity. There's support for preparing the materials you're going to need to execute the lesson, like Google Slides and Note Catcher. And there's guidance on how to plan instructional decisions for those what if situations, like what if technology fails? What if internet goes out? What if we run out of time? Below, there is a full example of a student experience plan for a sample lesson. And there's even a video of one of our fantastic senior CLs, Cami, explaining how she crafted that plan. That this year will continue to be full of complex challenges, but we hope that these tools can help you have a school year that keeps getting better and better for you and your students. As you work through the toolkit with your team, please reach out to us at instructionpartners.org if you have any questions about our tools or services. Thank you.